Yeah. They mad, they hate, and irritated. Wow. Close your mouth, you can save it without a doubt. Yeah. You won't claim it, you is a slouch. Live in your mom's basement. They mad, they hate, and irritated. Stop complaining.
What it do, Sam? What it do, Sam? How you?
Life Line, what's going on, brother? What's going on, man?
You already know, man. The Knicks, man. That's what's happening today, man. What's up with the clown, though?
Listen, I figured if LeBron could be the king and not the greatest, the Knicks can be the king of the East and not be the best. You feel me?
Okay.
From now on, you call me King Sev, baby. King Sev.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. I ain't
That's
mad
what's
at you.
up.
We gonna jump right into it, man. This is GOAT Metric episode number 24. The finals is here. The finals in a couple of days. And we had to jump on today because Thibodeau got fired. We wanted to jump on anyway because of the Knicks. You know, the Pacers beat the Knicks, but Benny, he was out of town, take care of some family stuff, you know. Congratulations to his family member that graduated from high school or whatever. So he's out with the family right now. So hopefully the Knicks assistant will be back tomorrow because I know he got a lot to say about what's going on. Seb, we're gonna jump back into it, man. What you felt about Thibodeau's firing, and then we'll get to the Knicks series, and then we'll get to some other stuff. But what about Thibodeau firing today?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna say this. I appreciate you covering for Benny, knowing that he on bereavement right now for the death of New York Knicks. But seriously though, man, I seen it coming. We've been talking about Thibodeau for about the last month now, like talking about his lack of, calling timeouts, his lack of changing plays, or just doing what needed to be done. Like even, he played 5 players pretty much almost the whole series. When we were down 2-0, he decided to put in other players. I kind of seen the writing on the wall. I felt it back when him and Bridges were getting into it. And that was weeks ago, but I said we gonna have to look into, is Thibodeau the problem, or is it the players? And I think we figured out that it's Thibodeau.
Do you feel like the coach is always the scapegoat?
I think that when you don't have a superstar player, and don't get it twisted, I think Jalen Brunson, he's a great player. But when you don't have like an MVP player, like a top 5 player in the league on your team, the coach is always going to be the scapegoat, especially when we've seen what these players can do when they're clicking. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at the amount of talent on that team and the amount of talent that he didn't play, I think that you always look at the coaching and say, this is the problem. You have to.
Now, I get that. I understand that. I'm just trying to be devil's advocate right now and be like the host and ask questions. But, because I watched the games just like you, I felt Thibodeau, I believe he was outcoached in every series. I just think his team held him down. Like he didn't coach comebacks. Yeah, he didn't coach comebacks. The team came back.
Nah, that's a fact.
So that's how I feel about that. So right now, you're off the monitor, right?
Yeah, having some type of technical difficulties.
Okay.
Let's see if I can.
Yeah. Well, I felt like his team carried him. They carried him this far. And then with Rick Carlisle, he just showed you they can't carry you no further. Like when you get to the conference finals or any type of finals, the coach is gonna have to be the final push to get you there because the player's gonna be playing. So right now, I'm just trying to understand like where we go from here. Can you hear me?
Well, to be honest with you, I can hear you. I should be back on. I apologize. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was having some technical difficulty. I heard everything you said, and I think that honestly, I thought that Tibbs was going to be in the hot seat, but I think what they should have done was given him or he should have gotten a better assistant coach that was good with the offense. Because we know that Tibbs, he's a work hard, I'll play you type of coach. You look at Josh Hart, like you said, everything, his stats were all effort, but I just hope that what they don't do is go get an offensive minded coach with no defense. Because that's going to put us back in the same position. You know what I'm saying? That's going to put us back with the hurt players, going to the second round, maybe even the conference final. I don't even think with an offensive-minded coach, we'll go past the second round. So I want to know, like, where do we go as far as like coaching? Like, who do we look at? Like the caliber of coach that we need, a winning type coach. I mean, it's not too many around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's going to be a rough.
So I agree.
It's going to be a rough.
I agree.
To replace him, because they was talking about Denver coach. What's his name? Mike Malone. It was talking about Mike Malone.
Yeah.
But I've heard like from different people that he might not be available, or he's not the one we're looking for. So I don't really know where they're going. And I hated that they didn't give him another year. Because this was your first year.
I agree with you.
Yeah, this was your first year with that roster.
Yeah, you know what? You absolutely right. And I didn't even put into consideration that this was your first season with Cat and Brunson, OG all together. And I mean, you can't, it wasn't a bad year. This was a successful season. I mean, by all means, like you look at what we accomplished the first year that these guys were together, you have to say this was a pretty successful season.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this right now. Congratulations to the New York Knicks for making the Eastern Conference Finals, to be the last 4 teams standing. Like, right. You don't understand Eastern Conference Final and Western Conference. The conference final is not a given.
That's a fact.
You had lasted that far and you one step away from the championship. And then coming to this year with no expectations of winning a championship.
That's a fact.
Except I don't think some of the players or some of the fans that feel like they're going to win every year. If you was a realistic fan, you didn't think that the Knicks was going to win a championship. So instead of like feeling like this was a disappointing year, this was just a great year, a great run, but we still got more to prove and we still got a little bit more building to do.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I didn't even anticipate us getting past the second round. And I'm just being honest. Like, I don't think any realistic fan did. So people don't realize that the conference finals is saying, hey, I'm almost the best team on the East. Like that's a big deal. And then having New York, we hadn't been since the 99 season.
Yeah.
We talking 20 odd years. We hadn't been to the conference final, and we had, Carmelo, we had Stoudemire. So this was big. And just to piggyback off of something you said about, Tibbs, hoping they would give him one more year. I'm trying to understand if it was a situation with the players, like, because it kind of seems like maybe the players aren't buying into him anymore. And if that's the case, then I understood why they had to let him go.
Yeah, that's the case. It's understood, but I feel like if management felt good about them, right? Felt good about him, they could have kind of talked to the players like, we're gonna give him one more year. Or
Right, right.
we looking at him closely, like whatever confirmation you got to give the players that I hear you, but let's ride this out one more year and we'll see if he changed. But maybe he was stubborn and he didn't want to change the way he played players.
Right, right. So let me ask you a question, Lifeline.
Right.
So, we all know the infamous Michael Jordan, Chicago beef, players win championships. We don't see general managers out there. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about the Miami Heat, when they weren't feeling, what's Eric the coach for Miami, Strokes. I cannot pronounce his last name. I'm having
Eric Spoelstra.
Eric Spoelstra. So, Pat Riley kind of doubled down, like, nah, this is our guy. This is who we going with. He's going to take us to the championship. So, and then you look at OKC, like their general manager, he was general manager of the year. Like, does New York, where do we start? Do we start at the top? Do we start with the general manager? Do we start, because you fire the coach and then we say, now what? But if we don't have that general manager that can, put the right people, because if he gets the wrong coach, we worse off than where we were. So who are we holding accountable after that?
I mean, you're right. But I think with the players we have, even with the wrong coach, the players could carry you far enough. And
the Eastern Conference Finals, apparently.
You say?
I said to the Eastern Conference Finals, apparently.
Yeah, but they realized that Tibbs is a good coach. Tibbs did good things. It's just that Tibbs, for some reason, his in-game adjustments wasn't up to par to me. And just watching, I just felt like other coaches,
yeah,
and maybe his coaching staff or whatever. I don't know what it is, but I just felt like watching other teams play the Knicks and other teams that was left in the playoffs. I believe other coaches tried more than what Tibbs tried to do, and other players had more confidence in the other players. And my thing, if you didn't have confidence in other players, why didn't you get other players? Like
right.
During the season, you could have talked to your general manager and maybe got you some mid-level or some kind of players to help out where the holes that you felt like you needed. But obviously you didn't feel like you needed nothing because you got right at the end of the year, but you didn't get no other players that you felt like was necessary to help. So therefore, you just decided to give the big portion to your guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. He waited until the end of our season. Basically, we 3-1, and now you want to start putting in guys off the bench. Like, it didn't make sense for you to have a 7-man rotation. Like, I was disappointed in that. Even one thing, when Ben talked about he had to start Mitch. Like, he finally started Mitch, and you saw that made a difference. So why not play some of these other guys? And I know Tibbs is stubborn. He's real stubborn. We seen that with Derrick Rose, obviously just now with Bridges. Like, we know that he's a real stubborn coach or person in general. So he's gonna do what he's gonna do, But you're right, his adjustments didn't exist, man. Didn't exist.
Let me ask you a question. This is off the subject because I'm happy with what the Knicks did this year. I'm kind of happy with the firing too,
Okay.
And I wanted him to get another year just to see what it do, because this is the furthest we got. But now it's like, and it's just what the GM has done. He brought in Cat and Bridges the same time, so he's being aggressive. So got the players. You know, only player we probably need, well, besides getting some bigger guys and maybe Mitch being healthy, we need DiVincenzo back. We need that scoring off the bench because the year before last, DiVincenzo was putting like 30-point games in the playoffs. 20-something point game. You could give him, he was getting you buckets, and he's a 3-point shooter.
Right.
And he could defend. So it was but I don't know what kind of big guys we need, because right now, the big man, we don't have like a 3 big man rotation. And Chula, you know, he was one, and I don't know what happened with him. Like, you'd rather have played a hurt player with your Mitch instead of Chula, you know? So it was really good. But let me switch gears with this. Did you hear about Michael Jordan comment on NBC?
No,
pretty much saying that he don't like people feeling like he was flawless because he won 6-0. I'm just giving you a little piece of it.
Okay.
Yeah, he said he don't like that because people use him to make other great players in the modern era look lesser.
That's a fact.
So like YouTubers debating on like his 6-0 and all this, and he said more, but that's it in a nutshell. He said he don't like it because it takes away from the other great guys in different eras, from LeBron James to all the players in the era.
Right. Yeah, what I hear is a man that's a lot older now, you know, and a little bit more respectful, because 20-year-old Mike would have loved it. You know what I'm saying? So, but I definitely understand, and we do that. We do that because you're the goalpost. You know what I'm saying? And if we don't use your career as an example, what are we using? You know, because when you debate about certain things and you say, oh, well, this person has, you know, this amount of scoring titles, this person has this, like, you are the bar. But I get why, you know, it can be upsetting, you know what I'm saying? Because you could be great and then to be torn down because somebody's greater. I could get why, you know, that would bother somebody.
Let me play devil's advocate, and I'm probably gonna lose any future MJ anything. You know, I think he just wanted to say his 6-0 and say LeBron's name in the same paragraph in the same interview. I think he really just wanted to say,
Right.
6-0 and was perfect in the finals. That don't make me greater than the guys who lost a lot.
Right. You know what? I'm gonna have to go watch the interview because it's dope that you say that.
I don't even think it's an interview. I think NBC posted it or whatever. I read it online. Okay. That's why I was going to read it, but I was like, I'm not, because there's so many things I want to get into. But that was one of the things I just wanted to know.
Right.
If y'all out there, I want to know y'all comments. Was that a sincere? Go pull the article up, read up on it. Was that a sincere situation or what it was? You know?
What's up?
And we don't do the mess. So we're not going to go deep into the Zion situation. We're not going to go deep into it. But I'm going to tell you, Zion need a mentor. Zion need a mentor. Like, Zion need to learn how to play the game. If you want to be a player, learn the rules. Learn the rules. Yeah. Young man. You know, because right now, you have more fouls off the court.
Yeah.
Than the whole season of playing.
Yeah. That's a fact.
You keep fouling out off the court.
That's a fact, though, man.
It's Zion. So if you hearing it, learn how to clean up them fouls off the court, bro. Like you a mentor, you need a mentor, whatever. It's ways because we all have sexual desires. I'm 50 years old. I still have issues, you know? I just learned how to keep my situations more cleaner, you know? But right
Yeah.
now, Zion, I ain't even going, they know what it is. But Zion, you need to clean up some stuff. And those allegations, I hope they're not true, you know. And I'm not even going to speak on what it is, but I just know you need a mentor and you need to get some things in order. And sometimes it's hard to teach young men that's millionaires that have more money than you. It's hard
Mm-hmm.
for them to even because like who you talking to?
No, that's a fact. And you know that's it's crazy you say that because like you, I feel like you, I'm not gonna get into the situation or the totality of it, but I feel like when these young men come into the NBA, there should already be some type of mentorship program put in place, you
Mhm.
know, and a lot of teams they have the veterans. And this is why you always hear people say, man, he's a voice in the locker room. And you wonder why Udonis Haslam is 40 something years old on the Miami Heat team and never playing. And it's like, that's not what they need him for. They need him to be that voice in the locker room, to be that mentor to these young guys. And sometimes I'll even go so far as to say, like, when you give these young guys all of this money at 19, 20, like there should be classes that they have to take. It should be almost stretched out sometimes. Like you don't want to give a 18-year-old that never had anything a bunch of millions of dollars and then put them in a place like New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? That's not a good look. And I agree with you 100%. It is hard to mentor a young man that's filthy rich at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at the Ja Morant situation a year or so ago. Like we look around and say, where are the big brothers, the fathers, the uncles? But they get caught up in it just as much as the players, you know, because he's covering everything. He's paying the bills now. But you're absolutely right. Like I what is my favorite line from what is it? Above the rim. He said, man, he need a role model, a hug or something, man. Like
Yeah.
come on, man. Like, but it's do we need it? Like he does. He need a mentor.
Yeah, definitely. You just gotta make better life decisions, and you said something a few months ago when you was talking, and you said some people they be mismanaging their life.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I don't even think he's in his mind, he's not mismanaging it because he have no plan to manage it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
That's what's
he's not
up. Yeah.
falling short of something. I don't even think
Right.
he have a plan for something.
Right. In the words of Nas, you didn't plan to fail. You just failed the plan.
That's a fact. And sometimes we don't realize how it is. So when you have a system, and that's why a lot of these guys, and we look at people, I heard somebody say he make compulsive decisions or whatever.
Mm.
I really don't know to what level it is, but I just tell you this, all of us have our quirks, all of us have our things, but after a while, when the same thing keep on happening, we gotta switch something up.
Yeah.
I switch
Yeah.
something up because that young man, like if they get in his pockets, or if he
Mm-hmm.
go to jail or something like that, like like that right there, it's unfortunate. I don't want to be Cam because Cam is a wild boy. Cam is wild. You know,
Already.
I'm starting to dig Cam too. Like my man Quick said, Cam is favorite guy because Cam's so
Hey,
wild, but then sometimes Cam be too wild for me. But you
already.
gotta figure out a way to play that game and know them rules
Yeah.
of the game because you don't want
Nah, that's a fact.
nothing to mess up the bag.
Nah, that's a fact. And you know, off subject, on subject, that is one of the biggest things that I've respected about LeBron James his entire career. You know, to come in the NBA as a child and always maintain yourself as an adult. Like he's always made big boy decisions. He's always carried himself well. So I've always respected that about him. Because as much as we, like you call Zion a young man, truth of the matter is he's still a child, man. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude came in the league at 18. What is he, about 23?
I don't know.
Like he's still learning.
Yeah. And sad news, all-time Viking guy died today. Jim Marshall dies today.
Marshall.
Yeah, I'm not too sure of his career because I think he played a long time ago. But rest in peace to Jim Marshall. Used to play for Minnesota Vikings. Maybe
Definitely.
next time we have some more information, but I pulled it up earlier and I didn't get a chance to read up on it. But rest in peace to Jim Marshall from the Vikings. And last episode, we didn't get to talk about Anthony Edwards' comments. I'm sure you probably heard of him when he made the comments about he'll be back and he don't, he don't feel no kind of way. And he kind of feels sad for Mike Conley, How do you feel about him making those statements?
That's why he's not going to be back, or that's why he's not going to win. You should be thinking about feeling bad for yourself, because at the end of the day, we all said it. That team goes where you go. You know what I'm saying? So you put forth the effort. Don't feel bad for Mike Conley. Don't feel sad for him. Feel sad for yourself. Because like you said, y'all didn't even come out to fight. You know what I'm saying? Y'all were spectators at your own game. So please don't tell me you'll be back and you don't feel bad. Tell me you're going to work hard. Tell me what you're going to do to get here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see that viciousness. These guys nowadays, they don't have that. And I hate to always compare everybody to what Mike and them did. But, they tell you when Chicago lost to Detroit, and they said as soon as the game was over, Mike was like, yo, we going to the gym. We all going to the gym. We going to get bigger. We need to get stronger so we can beat these guys. I don't see that in them. And my thing is, you did the most talking the whole year. And you didn't stand on it because y'all look bad against OKC, man. You just look bad, bro.
Yeah. I get it. Do you don't give him no pass since he's 23?
Not in basketball. I'll give him a pass in life. You know what I'm saying? Basketball is the same every day. And as much, and one of my big things is this. When you have a certain level of arrogance, you got to stand on that. You know what I'm saying? You got to stand on that. So I would have gave him a pass if he was out there having triple-double, 40-point games every night, like going hard. The rest of my team ain't playing, don't matter. I'm going to kill myself out here. He didn't do that. He didn't separate himself from the team.
So you don't think it was the defense?
I think OKC defense was amazing. I do. And I credit a lot of their defense. But when you a great offensive player, you learn, you figure out a way to score. Whether you get into the basket, get into the line, you know what I'm saying? You figure out a way to score. And I just feel like he didn't do that. I felt like, and not just him, the whole team. I felt like once they realized that the defense figured out what they were doing, they didn't try anything else. Yeah. Like, oh, they know I'm gonna shoot this mid-range jumper. Let me go to the basket. You didn't try it. You just stuck with the same thing you've been doing, and it didn't work for you.
Yeah. A lot of teams did that. And sad thing about it, yeah, like during this playoffs, you've seen a lot of teams not adjust enough. And I don't know if that gut punch, because sometimes that gut punch will take you down to or even put you on the ground, period. I think a lot of teams,
Definitely.
that gut punch they got in this playoffs, I believe that some teams, they didn't adjust enough because just like you said, Ant-Man probably shouldn't have been bringing the ball up.
Mm-hmm.
One, because that was tiring him out because now somebody's
Right.
defending you. You're not just bringing it up. Like somebody's defending you. Dort was defending you. Caruso was defending you. So they're making you work
Yeah.
hard. And and that's that's the same thing with Jalen Brunson. But I just wanted to get on Cat real quick. Now let's go to since we know what the matchup is, we'll ask Ben what he feels tomorrow, since it's finally here.
Okay.
It's finally here. Oh, the funny thing, did you see the thing with Halliburton thinking that he won the MVP?
Nah. I've been out I've been out of it for the last 2 or 3 days. Say
It was, man, it's on everything. Halliburton, my man sent it to me. Halliburton thought when they said the MVP, he was like, yo, watch it. He said, and the MVP for the Eastern Conference dude, Halliburton was, I walk up there, Siakam. He's like,
wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, do you think that they got it right?
Let's look at it. Let's look at it real quick.
Might as well.
I think what's it? Siakam had I don't know. I don't know if Halliburton. Excuse me. I don't know if Halliburton played defense.
Not really. I mean, he plays defense, but he's not a defensive player. That makes sense?
Okay. Because I'm looking at things like that. Like I'm
Right.
looking at, because Siakam averaged more than him. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah, Siakam averaged more than him. So it's like I don't know like what but when usually when Halliburton have a good game, they win though.
Yeah, but the sad thing is when Siakam had a bad game, so did Halliburton. He had an even worse game. You know what I'm saying? So it was like it's one of them things where you had two really good players, and it made it hard to figure out who was the MVP.
I'm gonna say something. Yeah, let me read this to you real quick.
Go ahead.
Halliburton had Siakam averaged 24.8, 5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.3 steals, and 0.7 blocks.
Okay.
He made more field goals. He got a better field goal percentage. He shot 17.5 and 9.2. He made 9.2. So his shooting average was 52%.
Okay.
Halliburton, and I see why he thought he won it. Halliburton averaged 21 points even. He averaged 6 rebounds. He led the team in rebounds with 6.
Okay.
He led the team in assists with 10.5. He led the team in steals, which 2.5. Yeah, so out of the 5 major statistical categories, he led the team in 3: rebounds, assists, and steals, and was second in points.
Yeah, I mean, with those stats, I would have gave him the MVP with those stats alone. But then you look at when did your stat line equate to wins? You know what I'm saying? Because you could have, in the 2 games you lost, you could have had, you could have averaged 12 assists those 2 games. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't equate to wins. So, and I would have to look at that because off of those stats, I would have said, yeah, Halliburton probably should have been the finals MVP.
I think right here is the difference maker for me. I think Siakam had like 3 30-point games.
And that makes the difference. And did they win those games?
I'm not too sure, but I will say this also: he shot better. He shot 52% from field goal, from regular field goal, and 50% from 3-point range. He didn't shoot that many 3-pointers, but he's 50%.
Okay.
I just had to tell you that, though. I know I'm jumping all over the place. I'm trying to catch up and get
Nah,
some.
you good to go.
Yeah.
That was a good question though, because I that's a tough one right there. Sometimes I feel bad for the people that got to vote on those things, man.
And you know the sad thing about this, man, and guys ain't gonna even speak about this, right? Karl Anthony Town averaged 24.8 for that series. He averaged 12 rebounds. Yeah, 12.2 rebounds. He averaged 10 defensive. He averaged that many offensive. But the funny thing, him and Siakam averaged the same points. Town averaged 24.8, and Siakam led the Pacers with 24.8.
Right.
Towns was the
That's
second
crazy.
most. And Brunson averaged 30.7 for that series.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's funny because he averaged that much and he still had a bad game and game. Like, people are not talking about his game because it really wasn't a bad game.
Who are we talking about?
Brunson.
Siakam?
Brunson.
Oh, Brunson. Got you.
Game 6, I felt like he might only shot 18 times. That ain't his thing.
Right.
He like 24, 29 times, you know? So it was surprising to me. I'm gonna ask Ben about that because I'm gonna ask Ben about a couple of things. So when Ben here tomorrow, I have the show better segmented up. But because I was trying to wait, but I wanted to get something out. I really wanted to talk about Thibodeau today. I really want to talk about Thibodeau because I'm still like, I'm happy and sad at the same time. I felt like he deserved another year, but I'm really excited to see who the coach they're going to. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to ask you a question though before we go any further. As far as the New York Knicks, what do you believe was our biggest Achilles heel to keep us from going any further outside of the adjustments?
Playing a deeper team. I think we ran into a team with depth, because even when you look at our top 4, like I was just looking at it. I just told you what Brunson and OG averaged 17 points for the series. Bridges averaged 15 points for the series. That's hell of a 3 and 4 guys.
Yeah. Nah, facts. That's a fact.
4 guys. And especially because the sad thing about it is, but this way it gets different. This way it gets different. And now that I'm looking at it, I see 24 for Siakam, 21 for Halliburton, Neesmith 13, Turner 13, Nebhard 9.8, Mathurin 9.7, Poppin 9, McCollum 8. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They got 8 players averaging over 8 points. Like that's hard. So now we go to the Knicks. We got 5 players averaging over 8.
Yeah.
So that's why I told the Knicks, I'm proud of them. You just ran into a deeper team. You didn't get much help. And I said this. And I know everybody like, I just said that yesterday. when we go with Ben. But I told everybody this, man. I said it the day before they played game 6. I said, bro, you need 25 points off the bench. Hart is gonna get you close. So the other guys got to get another 15. And game 6,
I remember you saying that.
Game 6, I thought it was nowhere near 25. It might have been 12 altogether. The bench gave you 12 points. Come on, man. Like that was just it right there. The bench we didn't have no bench.
Now, that's a fact. That's a big fact.
Yeah.
And for me, I asked you that question because one of the things I noticed, even throughout the season, and you mentioned it slightly, our 3-point shooting. Like when you talked about the Vinci, I can't pronounce his name. But we didn't, our 3-point shooting was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we were horrible. Our 3-point shooting, like I think we might have shot like 20-something%, man. And even though like Jalen Brunson, he'll hit threes, but he's not a 3-point shooter. We didn't really have any real 3-point shooters on our team. And I think that hurt us because we outscored them in the paint. We outscored them in the paint almost every game. But the 3-point shooting, it made a huge difference in this series, man.
Yeah. So what you saying? So what you saying? The one thing that you feel like they need to address is 3-point shooting.
Yeah, we need to get some 3-point shooters. And even you have 3-point shooters coming off the bench that can give you a couple of points, give you some threes, because when you down and those threes help you out, but they can also hurt you. And I think what happened a lot of times with Knicks, we would get in that spot, we start throwing up them threes, and we have such a poor shooting percentage, it just dug us deeper into that hole. And then you look at Indiana, they down by 17 and they hit a couple of threes. They right back on top. But we just didn't have that ability with our 3-point shot. Like it was bad, man. I'm gonna have to look and see the exact percentage that we shot for the series, but I know it was low.
Yeah. Nah, it's so many things to address, and I think what kills me, right, is cat feet. It's like I've never seen an athlete as hobbled as he is.
Yeah, that's a fact, though. That's a fact.
I think that's maybe why he be cheating on defense, because his body won't hold up.
Right.
So Cat, I hope this summer or whatever, like they need to address him getting shoes and some socks. He need to go to the doctor and for real. They need to mold some stuff for his feet so he have his lower extremities to be fine, because all that's connected.
Right. That's a fact. That's a fact. It definitely is.
I appreciate him thugging out,
Right. And you have to. Like you have to, because I felt like Cat had a pretty good series. And I think he could have had a better series. But like you said, you could tell that he was a little hobbled. And I hope that is something that they address, because Cat could be he's one of the better big men in the league, especially offensively. But he ain't gonna give you much on the defensive end.
I'm with you. Because we're not gonna talk too long, man. We're gonna get back at it, But the thing about it is, if you got something you want to talk about in the league, around the league, in the sports world, whatever, I'm gonna give the mic to you to bring up whatever you want to talk about before we get up out of here.
Hey, say less. It's not much that I really want to discuss other than, the NBA season coming up. I want to see, it's a lot of things that I'm looking forward to this NBA season. Because I want to see what kind of moves LA make. The Lakers, for me, is probably the biggest piece on the puzzle board. Like, I've been looking at the Lakers and I'm like, what kind of moves are they going to make? Because right now they in a real interesting position, because you have LeBron and you have Luka. You could trade and get the entire NBA back. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of moves do you think LA is going to make? Because they're in like a really good position. It's been a long time since a team has been in a position like this. Because what do you think you can get for Luka? Whatever you want, right? You could probably get 2 players, some
I don't know
picks.
now. I don't know now.
I think his stock is still pretty high.
I don't know now because now it's starting to look like, was it him or the team?
Yeah, you know, only reason I say
When you was in Dallas, they was climbing.
definitely.
But now, was it Dallas or was it you?
Now I believe it was him.
Okay.
Because I saw the way Dallas fell when he got hurt. And you know, with LA, you got Luka and LeBron, they almost like the same player. You know what I'm saying? So, like, do you want to keep those two and try this experiment? Like, because LeBron is at the end of his rope, but he's still a great player. Like, I'm not gonna hate on him today. Today is not hating Tuesday, so he's still a great player. But do you want both of those players back next year? I honestly wouldn't want either one of them back.
Well, I'll tell
Yeah,
you.
I mean, you could get the greatest haul ever, and you know, people want to play in LA. People want to play in LA. I'm just imagining what you could actually get. Because I don't know if I see a future with Luka in LA right now.
Well, I'll
So
tell you.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about Luka in LA or LeBron in LA, but wherever LeBron go, Bronny gotta go
Oh yeah.
because they
Home,
vacation
hopefully.
together. You know what I mean? So there's no reason for him to be on another team and you lose and you can't go on vacation because your son's still working.
Facts.
Or dad's still working. So wherever
Right.
Ron go, that's just a little jokey joke. You know what I mean?
I got you. You good.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. That would be real interesting. But I don't think the Lakers gonna do nothing because one thing the Lakers always try to keep is one of the top players in the NBA.
That's a fact.
And me and my guy, we was talking about that today because Cam, I hate to be, Cam say some of the most interesting stuff. I hate to watch his show and then bring it up, but
Right.
Cam got on the Knicks real bad, and when got on them, like, yo, they'll never win no matter who they get. They get Michael Jordan, they get Kobe, they can't win. It's the Knicks. And I just want to say this, that's not really true, but it could be true until they win. Because
That's
the
a fact.
about it is you could say that to every team until they win. We can say that about the Hornets. We can say this about this thing. Right now, we can say this about the Spurs. The Spurs will never win because they ain't won since Tim Duncan.
Mm-hmm.
So we could say all these teams ain't going to win because they ain't winning. It's just the Knicks. It's funny because the Knicks ain't won since the 70s.
And New York is the Mecca.
Yeah, but the sad thing I was trying to tell my dude today, at the end of the day, the organizations that have won built up a organization. And the sad thing about it is most of the guys who've been winning, just most of them, have like top 5, top 10 players. Now, I feel like Brunson is a top 10 player.
I agree.
But it's hard when you have a top 10 player that's that small to lead you when he's a liability on defense.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to get these other players. And I think what you said about the shooters, I think the Knicks need some bigger guys and another playmaker. I think to help Brunson, like we needed a point guard. And McBride, I don't really know if he's a point guard because he don't really run the team. It seems like he comes in to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't know, but that's gonna be interesting. It's funny. You're already looking at next year, and this season is not even over.
Oh, it's over. It's over for us.
Right?
I mean, if you want my prediction, I'm gonna go ahead and say OKC in 5.
Wow. So all the numbers I read off and how deep they are and everything like that, you still don't feel, you don't have no confidence in them.
Well, like I told you before, it's gonna be a great matchup, but OKC is just as deep, and they have players that can drop 50.
Oh,
I mean, well, player. I apologize. Because Shake is a scoring machine.
okay.
And I think that that's going to make a difference, because when you look at those numbers, OKC numbers are very similar. You have Shake, you have Hartenstein. I think he's averaging 10 point something this season. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of guys that can score. The two best players, or the top two players, I think Shake is averaging like 29.
Mm-hmm.
And then Williams is the next, right?
Yeah.
So, and then after that, you would have Holmgren.
Mm-hmm.
And their top three players are outscoring Indiana's top three players by a lot.
Yeah, that's correct.
And then when you go down the line, they still have other guys that's averaging good points.
I just don't think they as deep. But we shall see, because we shall see. I just don't think they as deep.
Yeah. And then one thing I will say,
Right.
OKC, that defense is different. Like, shout outs to Caruso. Like, I don't think he get enough respect around the league. You know what I'm saying?
Now they defense is tough. Okay, see, it's different. Nah, it's way different. 31. He averaged in a series 22 and 18, and the next guy is 7, 6, 5. They more like us.
Wait, say that again?
They more set up like us.
No, say the numbers. I'm sorry.
31 points. 31
That's
points. Shea. 22.2. Jalen Williams. 18. Holmgren. The next guy, 7. Caruso. Dort, 7. So Hartenstein, 6. So they scoring, they not as potent as we think. They not as deep as we think as far as scoring. They more deep with defense. So this is going to be a matchup of Indiana offense, OKC defense. And then we go.
Well, I'll say this much. I think that
you only got 30 seconds.
Oh, OKC can turn on more offense than the Pacers can turn on defense, and that's going to make a difference.
Yeah, I hope so. It's gonna be a great matchup, man. We're gonna get back to it tomorrow, and we're gonna add more to it and see. So Ben will be here. I have more of a setup. I just wanted to run something because I really wanted to talk about Thibodeau. We could have did a 5 minutes, 10 minutes of Thibodeau, but I just wanted to. We started talking. I felt like we had more to say. So this GOAT metrics number 24. That's I don't even know what the name of this show is.
Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna talk about Mike tomorrow though. I'm about to look that up right now.
Yeah, look up some stuff. You need to do the show, the last show before the finals need to be epic.
That's what's up. Say less.
Hey, GOAT metrics number 24.
Peace.
Stop complaining, stop back chasing. Can't wait for it. You gotta take it if you don't.